Group B schedule. This is the group Canada is in. Their final group stage game, Australia, Monday, 6 a.m. ET. You can catch all the action on TSN. And then Ireland will end things off against Nigeria. And we're going to now talk about that final group stage game as we welcome you back inside our One Soccer studio. Andy, Jordan, and Jess with you. All right, so the Aussies in their first game, it was a 1-0 victory over the Republic of Ireland. They needed a penalty kick to win that one. We know in their second game, that was a loss to Nigeria. Are you considering the Canadians favorites given the Aussies' struggles? How are you approaching this game if you're Canada?
I mean, if I have to choose, are they favorites? I would say yes, but I will say it's a tough feat and a tough task to play Australia just because they're at home. And just because the environment, it's a must-win or tie game, but you can't go in saying, hey, all we need is a tie, because then if you go in with that mentality, you're most likely going to lose. You have to put away the game early. So I'm a bit uneasy with Canada just because they don't really start games that well. They usually grow into games. But when you have that environment, and Jess, you've played in big stadiums as well, when people are just chanting for your team to lose, and certain plays can not go your way, it really plays on you. So I'm hoping that Canada can rise to the occasion, but do that early.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, Australia is the underdog in a sense of they need that win. Canada can't get away with a tie. So I think sometimes it's actually easier being the underdog. You have so much to lose, but you have that fire already lit under you. And as we said, we saw Canada in that first half against Ireland. They struggled a little bit to kind of have that fire right from the get-go. So to Jordan's point, I do hope that they come out, you know, fierce from minute one and not wait till that 45-minute mark, because Australia is still a very capable team, and I do think that it's going to be a pretty even matchup.
And I know we like to discuss matchups and the crossover, and if they finish first or second in the group, who would that mean they'd face in that round of 16? But if you're the Canadians, I mean, are you in a position to kind of play with that? Do you have that kind of skill where you can have a draw and go, oh, let me see how England, Denmark, and China are doing, which, by the way, that group is going to go down to the wire. There's a possibility that 3 teams can finish with 6 points. Or are you just Canada saying, go for the win? You cannot focus on that crossover group for you. It has to just be the win.
I think 2 things are at play here as well, is that momentum that just carries you into knockout football. Right? If you make it by a hair or a goal difference or whatever, you're kind of thinking round of 16, you have to go in and do something extra. But if you go and beat Australia and already take care of it, then you're like, we just won 2 on the bounce. You've won back-to-back. So you're feeling like, okay, whoever we play, whether it be England, whether it be Denmark, we feel like we could beat them because we've just been playing progressive football. We saw 2 halves from Canada, the worst and the best. If they could take their best going into this next match against Australia, they can make a run in this tournament.
Yeah, I'm confident that they can make a run as well. And I do think that if we see that second half Canada come in, I'm not sure if Australia can compete. I think Canada is a really, you know, we've spoken about how solid of a team they are, but we just haven't seen their best. And that's where, you know, you kind of get down on them and you're a little harsh in criticizing them. But we do know that they're a very capable team. And yeah, I just think that at the end of the day, this could be their match. It's just up to them. But I think they have to go in with a winning mentality. You can't go in for a tie that, you know, that never really works out.
No, it really doesn't. Worth noting, remember, last year, the Canadians beat the Australians in 2 friendlies in Australia. Sam Kerr was in those matches. They managed to neutralize her. We know that she's been dealing with a calf injury, has missed the first 2 games for Australia. The belief was that she could make a return for Australia in this game against Canada. Let's hear from their manager, Tony Gustafsson.
Of course she will. That's going to be our mindset, and that's what I love with Sam. Like, she's going to do anything she can to be out there. I know that. She want to be out there, and she deserves to be out there. And if she can be out there, she will be out there. And we just need to plan a plan for 90 minutes together if she's available. I'm saying if now. If she's available, we just need to come up with a plan together with the staff, together with Sam, to see what's the best to maximize the potential minutes that she has going into this game if she's available.
We can make a drinking game out of the amount of times he said if, because this, you know, the injury is serious because you are the host nation of the World Cup. You are the face of this tournament, Sam Kerr, and you haven't played in 2 games. That's a serious injury because we know how many times athletes play injured, and the best athlete, their 70% is still better than a lot of people's 100%. I don't even know if she's at 50. When you are hosting the World Cup, when you have been the face of this tournament and you haven't played the first 2 games, something serious is happening there. But if she were to play in that final game, what kind of task is ahead of the Canadians here?
So Australia's manager, the amount of times he said if, you know homegirl's gonna play. It's just how long. She coming on the last 20. Sam Kerr in Australia, what she is to this team, she's the catalyst. She's the person to go and score goals. All eyes on her. Arguably, probably the best player in the tournament. Think if she's 50%.
The best player in the tournament who hasn't played.
Exactly. She's gonna play. Like, this is a must-win game for Australia, do or die. The stage couldn't be bigger. What more would you want than your ace card, your best player, coming on in the one game that you need to play to win? She's going to play. It has to be something gravely serious for her to be like, look, I can't even run. If she's even 50%, she's playing at some part in this game.
Yeah, I can see them starting her if she is fit to play, maybe not playing 90 minutes. But this is a do or die game for them. They're going to put all their firepower out there. And I think, Sam Kerr's such a competitor, as the coach said. She's going to get out there if she can. And if she is at 50%, we're going to see her out there. And I think that, yes, that's going to be a challenge for the Canadians. But at the same time, I do still think that if Canada comes out and plays their game, they play solid defensively, that regardless if Sam Kerr is out there or not, they can still get that win.
I think with also what I need to add is that I think Sam Kerr could be the kryptonite for Canada's back line when we just talked about spacing, right? How they like to go forward with Lawrence and Riviere as well. Gilles or Buchanan or Zagorski's, whoever's playing is going to have their hand full, even if Sam Kerr is not at 100% because of her movement, because of how dynamic she is, how clever she is. She reads plays before they happen. So you just have to be on your toes. For Canada's sake, I hope that she comes into the game. By that part, it's too late. But if she starts, you just have to be aware of her every second, just scanning, looking where she is, because she creates room for other players as well.
All right, how about we just worry about our own business right now? That's Canada. Okay, you promised more Christine Sinclair.
Oh, let's get into it. I've been waiting for it.
How is she best utilized in this final game?
You asked me before. I say Christine Sinclair, come in, maybe play a midfield role. She doesn't have the legs anymore. All these things. Homegirl, you convinced me. She could play at the 9. Sophie Schmidt will get into her ability and the way that she transformed the game in a bit. But Christine Sinclair, the movement off of the center backs, one-touch play, the way that she's going out of bounds, she plays it into Heidema. All these little things, she showed her experience. She shows that she's still clever, and she's a step ahead. Maybe not physically in terms of speed, but her brain and the way that she can read moments. Having someone like that up top as a number 9 to almost be a false 9, not playing behind. Jess, players like that as well that can run in between center backs and cause havoc that way. But she's coming short. And if you have some speedy wingers, a Leon, a Lacasse, a Deanna Rose, right playing with her, it's a dangerous front 3. But for me, she was exceptional. Her movement, the way that she changed the game, she did everything for Canada the second half.
Yeah, for me, I think coming off the bench is definitely the best spot for her, and I do think it is in the 9. I don't think she's a 10. I don't think she's quite mobile enough to keep up with the midfielders of the other team. But as Jordan said, her movement off the ball is what really helped Canada in that second half. So, I don't think we should necessarily look to Christine Sinclair to be scoring the game-winning goal, but I do think that it's her movement that might cause that game-winning goal to happen. She is really great off the ball. Her knowledge of the game is just, it surpasses pretty much everyone that's around her. So I do think that she has made such a difference for Canada in that second half, and I think that she could be a big impact for them against Australia.
Nope, you got nothing else to say. I always knew those number 9s were cherry pickers. Is that what you're saying? You don't have to run as much, just stay up front. But you're saying start, you're saying off the bench still.
I'm saying off the bench still.
Okay.
Got a starter, got to.
All right, we have ourselves a good little debate going on over here. When we return on Good Night Australia, New Zealand, brought to you by CIBC, we're going to play a little game of stock up, stock down. We love these games here on One Soccer. Stay with us. Because I'm a kind host, I know Jordan wanted to talk about Sophie Schmidt, so how about I include her in our stock up, stock down? Stock up, stock down.
Up.
All right, is she starting for you?
Yes.
Over?
Grosso.
Okay, there we go. Wow, you're quick. Stock up, stock down, Canada.
I'm going to say they're the same for me right now. They haven't gone up, they haven't gone down. I can't. That one's, yep, I'm going.
It's good to goals, up.
Okay, stock up, stock down, United States.
Down.
Okay.
Yeah, down for me too.
You didn't like that draw against Netherlands?
No.
England.
Down. Hasn't been their best performances.
Ooh, down. They haven't scored too many goals.
Spain.
Up.
Up.
Yes.
Australia.
Down.
I guess down.
You better say down if you want Canada to win. I'm kidding. You can say whatever you want.
I was nervous.
Another fun show, ladies and gentlemen. Big thank you to all you at home for always tuning in to Good Night Australia, New Zealand, right here on One Soccer.